Okay, we have arrived at the appointed hour. It is 10 a.m., and I want to call to order the Town of Barnstable Licensing Authority meeting today, September 25th, located here at the Barnstable Town Hall in the James H. Crocker Jr. Hearing Room. Let me make the announcement that the meeting of the Barnstable Licensing Authority is being recorded and broadcast on the Town of Barnstable's Government Access Channel in accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 20. The chair must inquire whether anyone else is recording this meeting, and if so, please make their presence known. And not seeing anybody, let me jump right into introducing everyone who is up here on the dais. First, I'm John Flores. I am the vice chair of the Licensing Authority. To my immediate right is Authority Member Larry Decker, and to his right is Authority Member Jessica Silver. And to my left is David Anthony, Director of all sorts of different things for the town, property management, procurement, and other items. And to my far left is Erin Logan, who I must congratulate, is now officially named as the licensing director for the town of Barnstable. It's been long overdue. Congrats. And also thank you for all the work that you do on our behalf. I'll begin by asking if there's anyone in the audience who wants to make public comment. Not hearing or seeing anybody, we'll go right into the approval of the minutes of August 28th, 2024.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to accept the minutes of August 28th, 2024.
And could I have a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Any edits, additions, deletions, substitutions?
No.
Not hearing any, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, not hearing any, that is a vote. The minutes of August 28th have been approved. Next item on the agenda is new business. These are applications and not public hearings, so they're not subject to any public comment. The first one is to amend an in-holder wine and malt license. This is a change of manager. It's an application that's been filed by 867 Hyannis Operating, LLC, doing business as Fairfield Inn & Suites in Hyannis, located at 867 I&O Road in Hyannis, for a change of manager from Thomas A. Tolentino to Sarah Hobbs. This is a standard change. Any questions from any members of the commission?
Is there anyone here? Would you come to the podium, please?
So, Sarah, tell us a little bit about your background and what you'll be taking over and what you'll be doing.
Okay, sure. So I have been a general manager with Marriott Properties for over 8 years now. I had a courtyard that I was a manager for 6 years at. They had a full bar. And then in a loft, Marriott property that also had a full bar as well, an entertainment area. So the new hotel that I'm at now, the Fairfield, we are just selling liquor out of our market area. And so no bar, just out of the market area at this point. Mm-hmm.
And you have all the appropriate certifications, tips, and safe serve, and all
Yep,
those things.
correct.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions from the members?
No. Aaron?
I just have a question to clarify, because the Fairfield Inn & Suites had been through this committee about a year or two ago. I want to make sure that alcohol that's the self-serve pouring station.
We don't have that up
Okay.
and running at this point, honestly. So we will in the future, yes.
Okay.
But at this point, it's just out of our market area.
Okay, and is that distributed through staff?
Yes, our front desk staff that is going to be certified.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, any other questions, any other issues? Then we'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the application filed by 867 Hyannis Operating, LLC, DBA, Fairfield Inn & Suites, Hyannis, at 867 I&O Road, Hyannis, for a change of manager from Thomas Tolentino to Sarah Hobbs as submitted.
Thank you.
And could I have a second, please?
Second.
Is there any other discussion? Not hearing any, we'll take a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Not hearing any, that is a vote. Good luck and congrats.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 2 is a new special one-day alcohol and entertainment license. This is an application that has been filed by Payomet Inc. To host Ricky Lee Jones for a live music event with beer and wine service to be held at Cape Cod Community College in the Tilden Arts Center, located at 2240 I&O Road in West Barnstable, coming up on October 20th, 2024, from 5 to 7 p.m. Current TIPS certification is on file. Is there anyone here from that event? Would you come up to the microphone, please? Tell us a little bit about it, about yourself, and what the plan is.
I'm the manager of Payomet, and it's just a 2-hour concert with Ricky Lee Jones. We're going to be serving beer and wine, tip certified, at Tilden Hall.
Okay.
Your question, your Payomet is the one that really is
North Truro.
Not
Truro,
sure,
yeah. I've seen it, heard a lot about you and seen a lot, and
Thank you.
when I was involved in the Hyannis Open Streets, you had a,
Yes, circus.
yes,
Yeah.
that was there, so it's, you come highly recommended, I guess.
Okay. Thank you.
No, you have a good operation. I've been to a number of concerts down there over the years.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, good job. Okay, any questions from anyone on the dais, from my fellow commissioners?
I think there was, we should ask Officer Kelsey, I know he just arrived, with if he has any recommendations regarding police details for the Cape Cod
This is
College.
the Cape Cod Community College Ricky Lee Jones concert coming up on the 20th.
Off the top of my head, I would say probably not an issue. They do have their own
They have their own
security there. They
security.
have a number of parking spaces available to them, and the traffic flow doesn't seem to be an issue in and out. So I don't think that I would need to recommend a police detail for traffic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Not hearing any, we'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the application filed by Payomet Inc. for a special one-day beer and wine and entertainment license with respect to the Ricky Lee Jones event to be held at the Cape Cod Community College, Tilden's Arts Center, 2240 I&O Road, West Barnstable, on October 20th, 24, as submitted.
Have a second, please.
Second?
Any other comments, discussion, issues? Not hearing any, I will take a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, that's a vote. Good
Thank
luck,
you.
and
Good luck.
hope you get a good audience. Okay, that concludes our new business. Let's go into public hearings. The first one is relative to a new Class II auto dealer license. An application was filed by Mega Motors, Inc., doing business as Exit Auto, located at 587 I&O Road, Hyannis, for a new Class II auto dealer license, maximum of 44 vehicles. And as the agenda was initially written, it included 39 for display, 2 for customer, 2 for employee, and 2 handicap spaces. Repairs of inventory to vehicles only will be conducted on site. Daily hours of operation on Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., Saturday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Commissioner Decker counted up and realized that the total actually came to 45, so we're going to recommend that the display go from 39 to 38. We'll begin with that as the initial comment. Any other comments from anyone on the dais?
Somebody here.
Would you come up? So tell us a little bit about your
I
Exit Auto.
Exit Auto is basically the dealership stays same, everything same. It's changed only ownership from Maratunayan to Levon Harutsunyan. The employees are staying same, like it's pretty much just change of ownership. Should I tell about me, or
Got to hear you. I'm sorry.
should I add anything else? Or?
Just, I want to make the observation that when we vote this, it's not 39 display, it's 38
Yeah,
for the
that's
total of 44, which Councilor Decker noticed, and maybe he might have some other questions.
What is your previous experience in the industry?
I started in industry from 2017. I worked as a manager here on the Cape. Then in 2018, I established the Mega Motors, moved to open dealership in West Bridgewater, Mass, and I'm keeping the West Bridgewater, opening second location here.
So you don't own any other businesses?
I own 2 car dealerships.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Any other questions from anyone? Officer Kelsey?
No questions.
Okay. This is a public hearing, so is there anyone from the public that would like to speak to this? Not seeing anyone, I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the application filed by Mega Motors, Inc., DBA Exit Auto, 587 Iron Road, Hyannis, for a new Class 2 auto dealer license as submitted.
Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Okay, any other further discussion? Not hearing any, we'll take a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Not hearing any, that's a vote. Congrats and good luck.
Thank you. Can I say something?
Yes.
I want to say thank you to Erin Logan. You made it so easy. Thank you. The whole process. Thank you for that.
Thank you for saying that. That seems to be a common comment. It's a common theme. Thank you. Okay, the next item is to amend a common victual license. Again, this is a public comment. It's a public hearing. I'll ask the representatives to come up. I'll just read that an application was filed by Whole Foods Market, doing business as Whole Foods Market, located at 790 I&O Road, Hyannis, to amend the current common victual license for a change of location from 990 I&O Road in Hyannis to 790 I&O Road in Hyannis. Inside seating for 65, outside seating for 14. The proposed hours of operation are daily from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. So could you tell us, this is the new Whole Foods going in at the landing? Yes.
Everyone's looking forward to it. My name is Daniel Johnston, attorney at Nutter, McLennan and Fish. I'm joined by Bill Early, store manager. And as you mentioned, this is the new Whole Foods moving down the street to the newly renovated Cape Town Plaza. Just a change in location. Otherwise, the operations are going to be the same. I believe it's a decrease in the amount of total seating, but no real changes.
Okay. Any questions?
What is your effective date that you're changing over?
So we're opening the new store on the 10th of October. We're closing the current store on the 6th.
So the grand opening is October 10th?
Yes.
Ribbon
October
cutting, the whole scene?
Yep. Bread breaking.
I love it. That's great. You'll be the anchor on the west end of the
Yeah,
of the
there'll be a
landing.
couple stores next to us, but we're the anchor on the left side.
Right,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other staff comments or any other issues of concern? Not hearing any, we'll entertain a motion. Oh, excuse me, this is a public hearing, so is there anyone from the public that wants to speak to this? Not seeing or hearing anyone, we'll go right into entertaining a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the application filed by Whole Foods Market Group, Inc., DBA Whole Foods Market, 790 I&O Road, Hyannis, to amend the current common victular license as submitted.
Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Okay, the motion's been made, it's been seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Not hearing any? Good luck. See you at the opening.
Thank you, and thank you, Aaron.
Okay, next on the agenda for public hearing is number 3, new wine and malt common victualler and new daily live and daily non-live entertainment license. This is an application that was filed by the Old Village Store, LLC, DBA The Old Village Store, located at 2455 Meeting House Way, West Barnstable, for a new annual wine and malt common victual license. Seating for 21 inside. Proposed alcohol manager is Cyrus Buffum. The proposed hours of alcohol service are Monday, closed on Tuesday through Thursday, and Sunday, 11 to 7 p.m. Friday and Saturday, 11 to 8:30 p.m. And daily live entertainment is proposed for up to 4 non-amplified performers, and daily non-live entertainment is proposed for background music below conversation level. Proposed hours of live and non-live entertainment will be commensurate with alcohol service hours. tell us about the new venture.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for the opportunity to present before you all. My name is Cyrus Buffum. I'm currently under contract to purchase the Old Village store. We're scheduled to close on the property on Monday. This is property that's located on Lombard Trust land, and Mr. Anthony has been obviously intimately involved with the trust property for years. I grew up in West Barnstable. I was born just down the road at the hospital, went through Barnstable school systems, left in 2002, moved down to Charleston, South Carolina for college, and then 22 years later found myself with a wife, a young child, and decided it was time to move back home. So we moved back to the Cape in January, and this opportunity came up in the beginning of this year, and I jumped on it, just given my memories of going there as a kid and buying penny candy and the magic that I remember of that place, and the desire to contribute to the vibrancy of this community and to contribute to the community that now is going to be my son's community. And so our vision is to revitalize and to strengthen the spirit that has existed for 144 years. This property has served the West Barnstable community for 144 years, and we intend to play a role in this next chapter. The vision for creating indoor seating and wine and beer is to truly make it a gathering place for the community. We want to create a space that is a place where neighbors can come and eat their pastry and drink their coffee in the morning. We want this to be a place where people can come and enjoy entertainment, and I know it's all under the umbrella of entertainment, but a lecture from a guest author that we might want to come in town and present about their book. Or and another example that we're very inspired by is a general store in Dartmouth, Mass. Called Duval's, and every Wednesday afternoon they have Irish music night. It's in the afternoon where community members bring their fiddles and their instruments, not more than 4, as noted here, and they play music. And it's really kind of an energetic, spirited heartbeat of their community. And we really believe that West Barnstable deserves a similar spirit. So in terms of my professional background, I have worked as a waiter in food and beverage, but more professionally, my role has been, for 7 years, I operated as the executive director of a nonprofit down in Charleston focused on environmental advocacy issues. And part of my obligation, in addition to management of our team, was coordinating large-scale events, be they fundraisers, be they educational events, and we would have typically daily permits for whenever an event would happen for beer and wine. Over the past 7 years, my role has been the owner and operator of Seaborn Oyster Company down in Charleston. We're a fully integrated oyster farm, retailer, not brick and mortar, but distributor, and events company where we would partner with wine companies, wine shops, breweries, et cetera, to host dinners and tastings that paired the beer and wine well with the oysters. So the intention is not only for me to have the TIP certification, but any member of our team that is handling any of the proposed beer and wine or the malt and wine. And Aaron and I have been corresponding regarding all additional necessary requirements to meet the code.
When is your opening day?
To be determined. There's a proposed renovation just to be compliant with some of the codes, namely adding an additional bathroom in the public-facing area. There is one bathroom that is in the footprint of the retail portion of the building, but it's not public-facing, so we intend to renovate that and then add another bathroom and then do some cosmetic work to make sure that the building is getting the attention that it deserves. So ideally, within the next 3 months. It'd be great to have it open before the holidays really get underway, but a lot of it depends on what we find when we start really getting into things.
Okay.
I would ask Aaron if this is a case where the butters need to be notified of any music with regard to music.
Sure. Actually, both the alcohol application as well as the entertainment requires a butter notification. Mr. Buffum has done that and provided receipts, certified return receipt slips as proof of mailing. And yeah, they've been notified. I have not received anything good, bad, and different. Nothing in, I'm sorry, I have received nothing in opposition. However, we did receive a letter of support from the West Barnstable Civic Association that was forwarded through email yesterday. So there is some support from the community.
Has the occupant of the apartment upstairs been notified?
They have, yes. Yeah,
They're okay
they're the current owners that are selling the property.
Okay, so they'll be moving?
Yes.
Okay. David?
Also, one of the issues that came up was to make sure that any occupant of the apartment upstairs does not have access to the beer and wine.
Absolutely. Yeah, there is there's currently a door between the two units, the commercial unit and the retail unit. We intend to make that a one-directional door that only, whatever it needs to be, we'll do it to ensure complete compliance and to ensure that the apartment occupant has no way to access the retail unit at all.
Are you making the entry and the bathroom facilities ADA compliant?
Yes, that's the proposal.
Great.
David?
I would like to note for the record that the West Barnstable Town Councilor called to advocate for this in the sense that she feels very strongly that this will help with the overall village and helping to define the center. So she wanted to be on record as indicating that this is the kind of project that she feels her district is in favor of.
And that's Councilor Chris Clark.
That is Councilor Chris Clark, yes.
As a West Barnstable resident, I'm excited.
Awesome.
It's going to be great.
Cool. It's good to know that you live there.
Kelsey?
Yeah, great. Thank
Any
you.
questions?
I do have a couple of questions. Where exactly is the seating going to be located? That's the first one. The second one is, are you still running the retail store as a retail store, or is this turning more into a cafe?
So to answer your first question, the current proposal is to have all the seating concentrated in the north wing, which if you're standing on Route 149 or Median House Way, it's the right wing of the building. The logic there is it's closest to the restrooms. That's where the restrooms currently are, and it has the best light. So we want our seating area to be as bright and cozy as possible. So we thought that makes most sense. There is an egress in that room as well as one in the main commercial area. And as far as your retail question, there'll be several components. I mean, the Old Village store will be the business. In terms of the offerings of the Old Village store, there will be the continuation of the food service program, which currently exists. All we're doing different is just providing patrons with a place to sit. We do intend to elevate the food offerings to really celebrate seasonality, celebrate the local farmers and fishermen that work our lands and waters around here. And then the retail component we envision being in the central core of the building, and then the left wing or the south wing as well. So, and the kind of retail offerings will be split between food type offerings, so market type items, produce, et cetera. And then the kind of non-food related items are local artisanal gifts that local craftspeople make in the area, or books or paper goods or children's toys, kind of the nostalgic side of a general store. But we will be presenting as a general store that has a cafe. There's not going to be wait staff. It'll all be continued service at a kind of counter service. So, other than creating more of a kind of a place, a destination for people to spend time, and kind of increasing, in our opinion, kind of the offerings in terms of the diversity of offerings and the hyper-locality of the offerings, not much will change in the 144-year history.
All right, so basically, if I'm there, I go up to the counter, I order what I want for food, a glass of wine, bring it back to my table.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. Yep.
And at this time, you don't have plans for outdoor seating?
Not at this time. I mean, we would like to, but I understand that it's one step at a time. We think this is the most prudent approach right now, is just to have greater certainty of our ability to create this environment that we want to create. And then if we want to entertain that in the future, then obviously we'll pursue the necessary processes to do so.
All right, great, thank you.
David?
So, as was alluded, this is kind of a unique situation. The Lombard Trust, established 1755, when Parker Lombard left his 44 acres to the town to be established in trust. Working with retired Judge Joe Reardon as current trustee, there will be a lease for the land underneath the building between the trust and Cyrus. That is in its final determinations. There was a meeting yesterday to just kind of straighten up a couple of things, and this leads to a question. Because the paperwork with the state needs to follow that the leaseholder
Right.
is the one who is applying for the alcohol.
Right.
And yet I understand that 2455 Meeting House Way LLC will actually be the one who is the holder of the lease.
Correct, yeah.
And yet it's the Old Village Country Store LLC that's applying for the alcohol
Right,
permit.
right.
Can you just kind of explain the interaction between those two separated
Sure,
entities?
yeah. And happy to. And my understanding is that, and I defer to Aaron perhaps on this, is that as long as we can show the lease agreement between basically the building entity that will hold the lease and own the building, and the operating entity, which is the Old Village Store LLC, then that satisfies the requirements under MGL. Is that an accurate interpretation,
Right,
Aaron?
so if the owner of the property is leasing to you and you have evidence of that, that satisfies the requirement.
Yeah, and just to, I guess, the second part of your question, so this was under advice of our legal counsel that we hold the building and the lease in a separate entity. That entity will be wholly owned by the Old Village Store LLC as the operating company. So, I don't want to speak legalese when I don't know legalese, but that's my understanding is that, the leaseholder with Lombard and the building owner will be the kind of that entity, the 2455 Meeting House Way, and then there will be a lease agreement between that entity, which is wholly owned by the Old Village Store LLC entity. There'll be a lease agreement between those two entities that, that demands rent from one to the other, and et cetera.
So my understanding on this is that Kate has proposed to the trustee as recently as yesterday to try to get all of the entities that you are part of
Yeah.
to appear on the lease with the trust.
Yes, yeah.
With an understanding that one is lead and one is not.
Correct.
So that we are able to capture all of them so that at least, we kind of put a rope around it.
Correct.
We can say,
Yes.
that's how that's going to work.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
My understanding going through site plan was that there was also going to be some potential accessibility changes to the building. Can you just explain those?
Yeah, so currently the building's not accessible to those who have greater accessibility needs. What we're proposing, although not required under, under code, we are proposing to make the building more accessible. So the current proposal is to add a ramp on the south wing, which is the wing with the least grade, the depth between the entry and the earth itself. We obviously are going to need to go through Old Kings Highway and review for that, but that's where we're proposing to add a ramp with then transitions from wing to wing. There isn't a significant drop. The only real drop is from the south wing to the middle wing. Might be a couple of inches, but that will require a transition. Again, we'll work with building commissioner and his team to ensure that we're complying with, with what needs to be installed, be it permanently or kind of ad hoc. And then our second public-facing bathroom that we're proposing will be ADA compliant.
Any other questions? Okay, this is a public hearing. Is there anyone from the public who wants to comment? I don't see anyone. I'm sorry. Aaron?
John, just for the record, I think it's just important to, when we make a motion to approve, just please have that approval contingent upon the final purchase and sales agreement.
Okay.
And actually, just one more question, and I know you've addressed this, but there will be ADA accessible seating as well, correct?
Yes.
And I believe I saw at least one, if not two, ADA parking spots.
Yeah, we showed on the site plan, we showed one ADA parking space immediately in front of the proposed ramp location.
Okay. Okay, are there any other questions or issues or concerns anybody has? Okay, not hearing any, I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the application filed by the Old Village Store LLC, DBA, the Old Village Store, 2455 Meeting House Way, West Barnstable, for a new annual wine and malt common victor license, as well as a new daily live and daily non-live entertainment license as submitted, subject to the final agreement of all parties involved.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion, we have a second. Any other discussion? Not hearing any, we'll take a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Not hearing any, that's a vote. Congratulations,
Thank you
Cyrus.
all. I appreciate
Good
your
luck,
work.
welcome home.
Thank you, Aaron. Yeah,
And,
thank you.
Good
Feels
luck.
good. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. I'm going to skip over the discussion of the entertainment licenses and put that at the end. I'm going to go right to the consent agenda.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
with regard to the discussion that's on the agenda, I move that that discussion be moved to next month's meeting.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, discussion. I will only add that I had asked the licensing director, Erin Logan, to put together a spreadsheet of all of the bars and restaurants in town, indicating opening hours, closing hours, activities, what specifically folks could and couldn't do, based on questions that have come to a number of the licensing board members in terms of closing hours, who can have music, who can't, what can they have, what they can't have. And I must commend you, this is a terrific spreadsheet that we will discuss at length once we have the full board here. I mean, everyone should have copies of that. Job well done. Thank you, Erin, for putting that together. With that being said, we have a motion and a second to move this to a future meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. We'll move to the consent agenda. This is an agenda that consists of repeat in annual events which have been previously approved by the authority. There's no known reported history of problems. I don't think we need to read through every one of these, but before we do, does anyone from the commission have a question, issue, or concern? Anyone from the commission? No? Officer Kelsey?
In regard to number 5 and number 6, which are related to the sip and shop, I would just like to recommend, as we have done in the past, that they be required to hire a police detail, as there is going to be alcohol served on Main Street in retail stores where those people are not necessarily in the hospitality business. And it's to sort of make sure that we don't have people walking up and down the street with alcohol.
Okay. I'm going to split this then because one's going, let's vote first on consent agenda items 1 through 4. Could I have a motion to approve those?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to accept the consent agenda items 1 through 4 as submitted.
Second?
Second.
Any other discussion? Not hearing any. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, that is a vote. Okay, regarding item number 5 and item number 6, as Officer Kelsey has suggested, a police detail, I only separated those. Do we need to inform these folks before we take a vote?
No.
No,
No,
okay.
you can go ahead. It gets put into the
okay.
permitting system. It'll be on their license.
Okay,
And I would further comment that Mrs. Wolfbane has had several conversations regarding this in the past, and she has been made aware on a number of occasions that this is what the recommendation is and what the requirement that we would ask for would be. So it's not going to be a shock to her.
good. And are you specifying just one police officer or 2?
Yeah, I think one is fine. We only had 1 or 2 incidents that I'm aware of, and they were minor in nature. So I think 1 would be
Okay.
sufficient.
Okay, then let's vote on item number 5 and number 6 as written with the inclusion of 1 police officer as recommended by Officer Kelsey.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to accept items number 5 and 6 as submitted with the addition of 1 police officer as recommended by Officer Kelsey.
Second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, a second. Any other discussion? Not hearing any, we'll take a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, that is a vote. Okay. Craig. Our liaison, Councilor Tamish. All is well, thank you for coming. Let's see, where are we? Next on the item is licensing updates from the licensing authority. Any updates above and beyond the spreadsheet that we're going to discuss? We'll take some time to review it. Between now and the next meeting. Anybody has any questions, they can reach out and perhaps direct them directly to you, and then we'll discuss it at the next meeting.
Perfect. I think a few things just worth noting. Lieutenant Murphy is on the town council agenda for a second read to be the sixth and final member of this committee. I'm sorry, of this authority. Separate of that, just wanted to remind folks that October 1st opens up our renewal season. So I will be calling for common victular licenses, lodging houses, and auto dealerships. And I call for them in October because come November with alcohol, it's inundated. So I will be making a heavy push to attempt to get those all completed in November, in time for the alcohol licenses to open up. And as a reminder for that, that's a November 1st, alcohol licenses will be eligible to renew. And I think that's where we are at this point. No other updates.
Aaron, I do have a comment. I noticed that on the agenda, we're showing November 20th as as a November meeting, and I assume that's because the fourth Wednesday is the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. It is the day before Thanksgiving. So we're going to the 20th of November, which is the third Wednesday and not the fourth Wednesday.
You are correct. So the following week would be, the 27th would be our typical meeting, and it would be the day before Thanksgiving.
So we're changing it to the 20th.
Correct.
Thank you.
Yeah, that is on the, I was going to announce that the next meetings are October 23rd, 2024, and November 20th, 2024. But I also wanted to give Officer Kelsey the opportunity to share with us any police department updates.
Well, we'll come to the close of a busy summer. As we did not do any underage drinking operations this year, the ABCC did. And they have been in close contact with us with their operations, and they have found some violations throughout the summer, which they will be taking through their process. We do get notified of that, but they will be the enforcement arm for those interactions. Aaron and I have been talking about some stuff coming up, going into the off-season to prepare for next summer season. So I'm confident that probably November, December, January, we'll have some more updates on those types of things. And other than that, it's time to relax.
Well earned. Just a quick question regarding the ABCC. You said that they had some violations that they recognized?
Yeah, they've had some violations with underage purchasing of alcohol, mostly in liquor stores.
Okay.
And then they have been great at getting back to us when those happened. The communication from them to us has been very acceptable.
Is there a responsibility on our behalf if those are located in Hyannis or any other village that we have to act?
No, well, as far as acting in an enforcement way, no, because we can't do something if the ABCC is doing something.
Right.
They can't be punished twice. So the ABCC will handle that. If we find that we're having repeat customers, then I think the recommendation would be to bring them in front of your authority,
Right.
to have a conversation with them about how they're operating their business.
Has the ABCC notified us which establishments were in violation?
Yes, they do.
Okay, so that should be shared with members of the commission so we know what's going on.
So the most recent allegations were included in the, I believe it was the the August.
Oh.
My head's in
Okay.
alcohol season right now. I believe it was included in the August agenda. So the state has kept us advised. I'm happy to send the public hearing link. It is through Microsoft Teams. I have myself never attended an ABCC hearing, so I will be attending from an educational standpoint. It is a public hearing, so I.
Yeah, why don't you send it in
Yeah,
case
I will,
anybody
and if anybody
wants
else
to
wants to
attend
sit
it.
in, it's coming up in October, so I will go.
But I guess my
and
question is,
sure.
if the ABC finds a violation of an establishment that we have licensed here in town, do we have any responsibility to do anything above and beyond that?
Again, no, in the sense that they're going to take them through their processes. We can't turn around and now bring them through ours to try to punish them. Now, what we could do is have a conversation with them about how they're running their business.
Okay.
And then, I suppose, when they came up for renewal, you could consider if you want to do something with their renewal.
Right.
But I would defer to Aaron.
Yeah, I'm
on
not
that.
suggesting we, supersede what the ABCC is doing, but I think if something is happening within our own community, that we need to be aware of it. And, as a licensing board, I think it's our responsibility through either you, Officer Kelsey, or whomever, to reach out to those folks and say, we're aware of it, and, you better make sure that you follow the rules and regulations.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think between Aaron and myself, we have had those conversations with a number of the businesses, and I think we've brought it up before, but I'm happy to share again. One of the things that Aaron and I have established is an extra step in the process, and it's an informal process. So when we have a licensee who might be teetering on a fine line, maybe has crossed that line a couple of times, but it's not something that is completely egregious, we will call them in and have a conversation with Aaron and myself and say, hey, these are our concerns. How can we support you to come into compliance? And 99% of those meetings are extremely positive. We've had some of the attorneys actually sit in on those meetings with their clients, and they're very happy that we're even offering that. It is not something that we have to offer. It's not something that I know of any other town on the Cape is offering. So it's just one way to say, hey, we're having a conversation with you. We're going to try to talk with you, give you a chance to fix your problem. If you don't fix it, we're calling you in front of the licensing authority.
Okay.
And at that point, the authority would be made aware of, hey, on this date, we talked to them. This is what the conversation was. We continue to have a problem. That's why they're in front of you today.
Good. I just want to make sure we have a process and a procedure in place that, we're part of that discussion and that part of concern on behalf of the citizens of the town.
Oh, absolutely, because it's much better to have you guys make a decision than us.
If I-
Okay.
if
I think it's also important, should the ABCC take the license away from one of those vendors, then we need to know about that.
Absolutely, absolutely.
There would be legal notice if that came to be, or even a suspension.
Right.
So typically, you'll see those notices on correspondence received on the agenda. We can certainly give the ABCC hearings a little bit more attention and have a discussion about them. The information I have would be limited, but certainly we can have an open discussion. And I just wanted to kind of piggyback on Chris's comments about our kind of first step informal meetings, just so you are all aware, these are not, we're not bringing folks in for an informal where there has been an egregious violation. We are talking, minimal things. We certainly, if somebody was being served underage, we would not be handling it between the two of us. We would bring it to you folks. But there are some things, sign postings that aren't done correctly.
Right.
Things that we feel is really, if we can take care of the problem between the two of us and not bring it here, we don't need to ostracize business owners for improper placement of their signage.
Yeah, no,
We
I'm
can
really
handle it
referencing,
behind-
serious, egregious types of concerns and issues. The minor kinds of issues, I go for it.
Aaron, if there is a ABCC meeting, or we're having a meeting here for the vendors in October, I would appreciate that date. I've gone to several of the meetings in the past, and if I'm available, I'd like to attend, just because it's fun to watch Officer Kelsey hold a meeting.
He actually, I've been to those. He actually does a very good job.
Yes, he does.
Well, the October meeting that Aaron speaks of would be an ABCC meeting, so we would just be guests at the meeting, and we'd be listening with the rest of the public.
Is
Will
that
that be in
here?
person?
Here,
No.
because usually it's off Cape somewhere.
It's the ABCC is essentially running paperless, so their meetings are also 100% remote. They're held by Microsoft Teams. It's still a public hearing. You're still welcome to attend. When I get up this
Let us know.
afternoon, I will
Yeah.
make sure everyone
Great.
gets a link to that hearing
Thank
for
you.
the upcoming violation. This particular business has been in violation, I think, 3 times this year, all caught by the ABCC.
Okay.
Hesitant to bring it before this to a public place right now, giving the ABCC opportunity to finish their investigation
Okay.
and bring them through
That's
the
fair
process.
enough.
Right.
Any other issues? Okay, not seeing any other matters anticipated by the chair. The only final comment I want to make is once again to thank Vice President of the Town Council, Greg Tamish, who is our liaison to the licensing authority. Thank you for coming and attending. It's important that I think the council knows what's going on relative to, a number of the boards and committees across the community. So thank you for stopping by. With that being said, that brings to an end all the items on our agenda, so I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
Mr. Chairman, I move to adjourn this meeting to Wednesday, October 23rd, 2024.
Second.
Okay, the motion's been made. There's a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? That is a vote. Thank you, everybody. Good meeting.